I are both getting fatter and uglier. And I think that a lot of women, particularly if you go on TikTok and you see generationally, I think they're annoying. And I think that is a symptom of a serious problem, which is deeply rooted feminism, which, by the way, is the same source problem for LGBTQ, AIP, and the reason that you have biological men winning Olympic medals. You and I are both getting fat.
That was Steven Crowder flaming Piers Morgan with this absolutely radical but true statement about what's going on with modern women. What is the deal with modern women? Why are they not holding up to like what we consider the good standards? And why are people calling that out? Piers sits back. Piers is playing the innocent role. And Steven Crowder goes after him and says, no, no, no. This is the same idea. Deep-rooted feminism is causing these issues. It's a fiery clip. It's super engaging. It's super funny to listen to as Piers looks like an idiot. You need to dive in. You need to listen to this. We're going to get into this clip in just a second. I'm Jared Wright, and this is The Right Wing. If you haven't been here before, I bring you the funniest, the best, the most intelligent clips so that you see what's going on in the world. So hit the like button, hit the follow, hit the subscribe, turn the notifications on. I do this every single day to make it easy for you to see what's happening, what's being said, what are all the big names doing and saying. You deserve to know these things. But let's just dive right into this clip right now.
I didn't get anywhere with it. So in a way, I am listening to you because I'm curious how you do get anywhere with somebody like that when his whole shtick is really just on doubling, trebling, quadrupling down, and he says things which I genuinely do find really offensive. When he talks about women in the way that he does, it is really offensive.
Well, okay, let me answer. Here's how you get somewhere, by not playing gotcha. So, for example, when you start off with, if you've done the research, you know it's facetious. Same thing that Jillian Michaels did. Do you think all women need to be raped? No, he was citing, by the way, study after study that you can replicate that 62% of women
he said
have
that to
some
me.
form of a rape fantasy. Yes. So
This is the truth. And if you study this, if you look into it, this is why Nick Fuentes has been taken so out of context, is because he said women have this rape fantasy. They want to be raped. Well, I'm not calling for any woman to be raped. What he's saying and what he was speaking to, and it's the same thing Crowder's speaking to here, is a lot of women have this weird domination kink when it comes to their sexual lifestyles. They want to be dominated and they want their limits pushed. That's what they like. And a lot of times, you know what, men take that too far. And I don't agree with that. And I put that, I denounce that. But that's what Nick was pointing to. 62% of women have these fantasies from the books, the movies they watch, whatever, whatever it may be. But they do have those fantasies, and that's what they want. And that's what Nick was talking about. They want to be, this is a little bit PG-13, they may want to be tied up or choked or whatever. That's what he is speaking to. And Piers and everybody wants to take this out of context and speak as if Nick is calling for awful things to happen. And Steven says, no, look, Steven's not even the biggest fan of Nick. They're on decent terms right now, but Steven says that's not even what this is about. And anyone with common sense who gives half a lick to do the smallest bit of research will see that that is not what he was talking about. So let's just keep diving in this clip.
Actually dominant. But when you start off with that, guess what? Young people go, okay, all right, same old, same old. You could have asked him, hey, what are your views on women?
I started off with this thing that all women are annoying and they all get old and fat and ugly.
What part of that do you disagree with?
All of it.
You don't think that women get fatter and more attractive? Men do too, by the way.
I think men
You and I are both getting fatter and uglier. And I think that a lot of women, particularly if you go on TikTok and you see generationally, I think they're annoying. And I think that is a symptom of a serious problem, which is deeply rooted feminism, which, by the way, is the same source problem for LGBTQ, AIP, and the reason that you have biological men winning Olympic medals, right? You see that as a problem. You need to get to where you diverge or what the root of the problem is. And here's the thing, you're never going to get there if you just discount young people who are facing different problems than you. I understand. I don't think they're right on all of it, but I understand it because I was listening. I think you could have listened to him better. If your goal is the pursuit of truth, and actually, and I would imagine your goal if you think his views are abhorrent, by the way, and I think some of them are. So if your goal is to peel some of those people off, give him the floor to explain context so that you can contrast it. But it ended up getting back.
I didn't.
Yeah. So obviously Crowder even gets into that at the end. He says, look, I don't agree with all of Nick's views. I think some of them are way out there, but you didn't do your job, Piers. You didn't actually step into that. You didn't actually step into your role as a journalist or as an interviewer or whatever you may want to call yourself to actually say something, to actually do something about it. And he kind of goes after him. And I agree. I don't agree with all of Nick's views on women or about anything. I do think he takes those things a little bit to the extreme. But at the same time, I also have the knowledge to understand that women today are so brainwashed by this idea of feminism, and not even just the traditional sense of feminism, but even in the leaks of it within wanting to be an independent woman and this and that and wanting to do things on your own. And that's not always the worst thing in the world, but the way that God intended for man and for woman to be is for man to take care of woman and for woman to take care of the home. It's this idea of headship, and it is biblical. It is rooted into the very beginning, middle, and end of the Bible, this idea of headship, what the man does and what the woman does, because it mirrors our relationship with Christ. That is the points that people like Crowder, people like Nick are trying to get across, and the women are not accepting of this anymore. They accept it when it benefits them. They don't accept it whenever it's something they don't like. For instance, men are the only people in the draft for the military. Women are not. In the same sense, this is why some people will contrast and say, well, the man of the household should do the voting for the household. The women should not vote. I don't necessarily disagree with that. I think that the men voting for the household, which is the way it was originally done and intended to be done, may have been a pretty decent thing. Now, that's not how it is today, and people will throw their hands up and get pissed at you for saying that. And that's not even the battlefield I'm trying to die on right now. And right now, today, that's not even what I'm trying to die on at this point. But the point is, feminism has went out of control. A lot of the women say some crazy things, do some crazy things, because for some reason they feel like they have to be independent and on their own, and they want their own, DEI essentially and all this stuff. And that's not the way it was ever intended. What God wanted the woman to be, and what the woman is supposed to be, is the maker of the home. Have children, keep the home clean, make the meals, take care of the children, and raise them and nurture them. The man provides and loves, while the woman puts the man up on a pedestal, essentially. The woman honors the man to give him the confidence, the high testosterone, to go work and provide for the family. And he comes home and he still nurtures and he still loves the children. He still loves his wife. That's what he's commanded to do. Love your wife and be willing to put your life down for her through anything. That's the biblical roles of marriage. This is how God intended it. This is how he made Eve. This is how he made Adam. This is how he made man and woman to fit together like puzzle pieces. But whenever you have puzzle pieces, if all of them looked the same, do you think that puzzle would fit together? It wouldn't. It would just be the same piece, and it doesn't ever work. That's the issue. Too many women want to look exactly like men, and then that puzzle doesn't fit. We also have the issue right now where too many men want to look like women. It goes back and forth, honestly. And it's this idea of feminism, and it's rooted in the LGBT, ABCD, the alphabet mafia. It's rooted in that crap. It's rooted in this idea that, oh, we're all the exact same. No, we can all be equal, but we can be different in our equality. That's important to understand. Sadly, there's many people that don't have the mental capacity to understand that. We can be equal but different. That goes to gender. That can even apply to race. That can apply to cultures. It can apply to a lot of different things. And people don't want to understand that. They want everything to look the same and make it easy. That's not how God intended it to work. That's not how God created us. That's what Crowder's saying. That's what Nick's saying. And people like Piers, they just can't get it. Like, let's be honest, it's been coming out. Piers is literally sitting in the hotel room chair, watching his wife. That's the type of guy Piers is. The picture of him with the vacuum cleaner, his wife said, oh, by the way, you missed a spot. This better be done when I get home. Are you kidding me? That's not what he's supposed to be. But he sits there and he takes it because he wants to be this new age man. Well, I'm sorry. We're not going to be new age men. We're going to be traditional men the way God intended us to be. I'm Jared Wright, and this is The Right Wing. If you like this, if you want more videos like this, hit the like, hit the subscribe, turn the notifications on. I bring you this stuff every single day because you deserve to hear it. I hope you have a great day.